How rich is Gavin Newsom, governor of California? After the announcement of the 2022 California gubernatorial election results, for some lawmakers, the news was glad tidings, while for others, it wasn't. Democrat Gavin Newsom is unquestionably among those celebrating after easily winning his second and possibly final term as the governor of California, making him the 41st governor of California. The name Gavin Newsom is not new. He's a widely known politician and businessman due to his impact on society while holding a multitude of roles. Although he served in California politics for 25 years in various positions, including as mayor of San Francisco and lieutenant governor, he's also a businessman and investor who had enormous wealth and resources even before stepping into politics. Prior to getting into office, he allegedly started 11 enterprises. Remarkable. The first question that springs to mind after hearing about his various positions, businesses, and investments is, how ridiculously rich is the California governor? Well, that's why you're here, and you're in the right place, because in this video, we're going to look closely at this prominent politician's treasure chest. This jack of all trades is estimated to be worth between $18 and $22 million. And he's said to be the highest paid governor in the nation out of 50 governors. By piling up tens of millions of dollars in wealth over the years, he's reaped the benefits of his perseverance. A net worth of just $18+ million seems too low for a person who's been in politics for 2.5 decades and has dozens of businesses and assets, doesn't it? Could he be worth more? Continue watching to find out more about it and Gavin Newsom's upbringing, political background, assets, and much more. Gavin Christopher Newsom was born on October 10, 1967 in San Francisco, California. It's safe to say he had politics in his blood from day one, despite coming from a financially less fortunate family. The connections for a political career were essentially accessible right away because William Alfred, his father, was a state appeals judge and a lawyer for Getty Oil. Tessa, his mother, worked as a secretary and bookkeeper. According to Newsom, his dyslexia, which still affects him, contributed to a difficult childhood. He went to a bilingual school in San Francisco for kindergarten and first grade, but eventually transferred out due to his severe dyslexia. His ability to write, spell, read, and handle numbers has all been put to the test by it. He still favors the audio interpretation of written documents and reports. Despite finding it challenging to concentrate in class due to his condition, he got enrolled at Marin County's Redwood High School, where he excelled in sports. He then graduated from Redwood High School in 1985. Gavin attended Santa Clara University and earned a BS degree in political science in 1989. He once stated that prior to enrolling in college, he held a number of jobs to support his family due to their erratic financial situation. After graduating, though, things started to change for Newsom. In 1991, he established Plumpjack Associates, a winery with the help of a few affluent backers and family friends. The winery was opened later and the company expanded over time to employ more than 700 people. By the year 2000, he had established a wide range of businesses in several industries, ranging from the Plumpjack Winery and Cafe to Plumpjack Development, Plumpjack Sport, and Retail. His yearly personal income averaged at around $425,000 during that period between 1996 and 2001. Over time, his investments had a value of $7 million by the year 2002. It might be amusing to note that Newsom decided to enter politics after being certain about his financial future. His first significant political involvement was with Willie Brown's 1995 mayoral campaign in San Francisco. Newsom was given a seat on the Parking and Traffic Commission by Brown, where he eventually rose to the position of president. Brown appointed Newsom to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors in 1997. He was later elected to a full 4-year term in 1998. As supervisor, Newsom was well known for his support of housing projects through public-private partnerships, as well as for his role in promoting the reform of San Francisco's municipal railway. The law that was passed increased Newsom's reputation with the public and gave him the resources he needed to run for mayor in the future. According to SF-Gate, when he disclosed his financial situation prior to being chosen as San Francisco's mayor in 2004, the value of his interest in the company that brought in $25 million in revenue in 2002 was $6.9 million. Before assuming office, Gavin sold his ownership interest in his San Francisco-based companies and properties, continuing to be the possessor of those outside the city. Following his time on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, Newsom held a number of political posts in the city prior to being elected as the 42nd mayor of San Francisco in 2003 at the age of 36. He was San Francisco's youngest mayor in the city's history. Gavin was re-elected as mayor in 2007. In 2010, he advanced to the position of 49th Lieutenant Governor of California, where he was re-elected in 2014. He had to wait another decade to be elected governor, but in 2019, he made it and became California's 40th governor. And that brings up the topic of his cash flow. Newsom earns the most money of all the governors. He makes more than twice as much as the lowest paid governor, and his salary is $201,680. Following his second appointment as California's governor, it's expected that his pay will rise to $210,000. When Newsom was elected in 2018, he promised to publish his tax records each year. Accordingly, during his final year serving as the state's lieutenant governor, he and his wife disclosed more than $1.2 million in income, the majority of which came from outside business interests. Through various business and other deductions, including $25,683 in unexplained charitable contributions and the declaration of his 4 young children as dependents, their $1.2 million total income was lowered to approximately $973,000 in taxable income. In his 2018 tax form, Newsom listed roughly $394,000 in earnings, of which about $151,000 came from his state salary. A listing for rental properties, royalties, partnerships, trusts, and other business interests revealed an extra net income of more than $775,000. Only $2,600 of Newsom's reported profits and interest, which totaled more than $57,000, were tax-exempt. That income from interest and dividends isn't much money, not the kind of money that'd be compared to that of extremely wealthy people. He perhaps doesn't have a lot of hedge fund investments, which may occasionally land politicians in hot water. Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of Newsom, is an actress and filmmaker who happens to have a separate source of income. Her representation project brought in roughly $151,000 in 2019, along with earning almost $50,000 through her production company, Girls Club Entertainment. She also received over $1,000 in residual payments from earlier acting roles. According to tax records, Governor Gavin Newsom and his wife made $1.7 million in 2019 during his first year in office, an increase of nearly $500,000 from the previous year. It seems like their income increased mostly due to the winery and restaurant businesses that Newsom put into a blind trust after being elected governor. The couple allegedly owns numerous additional uncounted trusts and businesses. Furthermore, Newsom has a sizable profit from the royalties generated by the sale of his book about dyslexia. Gavin and his wife made roughly $1.5 million in 2020. According to the documents, the pair had almost $440,000 in income, nearly $130,000 in capital gains, and over $1 million in earnings from partnerships and corporate organizations. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 caused several job losses and financial hardships for numerous families. The Newsom family situation, however, appeared to be pretty fruitful during the pandemic. Now, this raises an important question. Could it be that the same economic and health problems and policies that killed small businesses and affected working people also contributed to the growth of the mega-rich? Small business owners have also criticized Newsom, pointing out that Plumpjack Enterprises received close to $3 million in federal cash through the Paycheck Protection Program. It should be noted that PPP is a funding program intended to help budding small business owners. Let's talk a little about the California governor's proposed $277 billion budget for 2022. It heavily relies on personal income taxes, particularly from the wealthiest individuals. Budget projections reveal that California's wealthiest citizens continue to prosper, while job losses are most severely felt by those who earn less money. Unions, environmental groups, and others suggested raising taxes on the wealthy during the Newsom budget proposal, but he claimed that this was not part of the conversation. Wasn't that a reasonable suggestion? We mustn't overlook that Gavin Newsom is also an investor in property. Selling some of his lands resulted in a $750,000 profit for Newsom in 2009. He reportedly sold his $5.9 million Marin County estate in 2021 to buy a $3.7 million house in Fair Oaks. The Marin rural house cost a little over $2.2 million when Newsom purchased it in 2011. His new residence includes 6 bedrooms and is 12,000 square feet on 8.2 acres. It also includes a wine cellar, tennis court, swimming pool, and separate guest facilities. In conclusion, we have some thoughts for you to consider. Newsom has vowed to finish his second term, saying he has sub-zero interest in running for president. So what will he do when his governorship ends? It seems unlikely that Newsom, who spent nearly half his life carefully climbing the political ladder, from a San Francisco City Commission appointee to a seat on the city's Board of Supervisors, then mayor, 8 years as lieutenant governor, and ultimately the governorship in 2018, would simply return to managing his wine and restaurant business. It's also ridiculous to think that he'd accept a less important political position like that of a congressman or cabinet appointee. The previous unsuccessful recall attempts clearly indicate Newsom's political influence in California, which leads us to predict that he might run for president in the future. What are your thoughts? We're curious.